part of me is boiling in anger and frustration, and my other part says the best is yet to come. Wait. Part of me wants to fight. Part of me says, no, be angry, be mad, be frustrated, keep on hating everybody. The other side of me say, no, wait, the best is yet to come. So when you have these two sides within you, that this battle goes on, it depends what side gets more food and love and attention from you.
Today's guest is my dear friend Fari Gonzaque. In pursuit of happiness, Fari left Iran aged 21 and embraced England and America as her home. Driven by her eternal passion for spirituality, health, and wellness, she has been a transformational relationship coach of 30 plus years, mentoring people to develop many unfulfilled dreams and to discover the brilliance in themselves in order to create great relationships. She guides her clients to let go of the burden and discover their gift and healing in their trauma, helping them to embrace their past traumas and challenges as their life lessons and not as a life sentence. Welcome, Fari.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you for having me here. It's lovely to be here with you.
Oh, I'm
Just
so
listening to you, I
excited.
feel like I'm back in England again, and I miss it like crazy.
Oh, bless. We can talk all about that and see how long you were in England for and where you were. And where are you currently in LA?
2 hours outside of LA, Palm Desert. Yes, we moved
Oh,
out of
wow.
LA a year and a half ago, and we're in Palm Desert, away from the crowd and the sin and killing and murdering and really facade in LA right now. Yeah.
Oh, bless. Yeah. So, knowing a bit about your story, I'm excited for our conversation. So, the next question may be a bit tricky for you. So,
Oh,
what is one of the most courageous things you've done? Because I know you've done more than one. Can you pick one?
girl, I was just gonna say, well, one of the most courageous things I did in life was actually leaving Iran
Mm.
and going to England. That was, I don't think any challenge in life or any courage was bigger than that to do it. 46 years ago. Yeah, when Iran,
Wow.
there was nothing wrong in Iran. I still wanted to get out and find my own freedom. I left Iran to go to England. I didn't even speak a word of English. No. In England, I was massively into fitness and into fashion.
Mm.
I was working um, as a girl in a boutique, as a salesperson in a boutiques in different very. It started from being a junior in a Greek shop with jeans and denims and all of that, and it
Mhm.
became to the most expensive shops in Knightsbridge in London. And then I ended up opening my own shop on High Streets, off of the High Street St. John's Wood, in St. John's Wood in London.
Mm.
And then after that, I left England. And then when
Mm.
I came to America, I think I came to America December of 1991. And then June of 1992, I started as a front desk girl in a health club. As of that, my journey into not knowing what that meant, but becoming a life coach as people were talking to me, and then being a fitness trainer from being a front desk girl, it started almost immediately because I remember I
Mhm.
was the front desk and they knew that I was into fitness, and the girl who was one of the trainers never showed up, and they said, would you go and train people? I had no idea what I was doing, and I said, yeah, sure. So it started that way, and then my way got open into the fitness, and my way got into being a coach as I'm talking to people, and I had no idea what I was doing. So all of that coaching and training, it started in England. In America, but in England, all I did, I wanted to get my clients that they were coming to my shop to shop and buy from
Mhm.
me, entertain them. So I would invite them to for free tennis lessons in the
Mhm.
parks and all that. So Yeah, but the life coaching and training started in America.
Excellent. Tell me about your journey as you left Iran to escape an emotional abusive family. That must have been huge navigating challenges there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my family, when I lived in Iran and grew up in Iran, there was nothing like what you see today in Iran. I was just
Okay.
like you and I today. We had no headscarf on, was a fat kid, and I would wear the shortest shorts. My boobs were humongously big, but I would wear the low cut V-neck. We would go for a walk at 11 o'clock at night, no problem. Alcohol was being served in our home. Nothing was a problem. Just like how you live today in England and I in America, the freedom was that much. Nobody
Mhm.
forced you with anything. But my upbringing in our home was terrible. And I've definitely 1,000 times by now, I have forgiven my father. I've forgiven one of my brothers that they made the house to be so uh, problematic to live it and be in it. My father was the most dictator man. He was very, very old when he married my very young mother at that time. And
Mhm.
that's not something that it would happen in Iran regularly. Once in a blue moon, it would happen, but they got married with a massive difference of age. And in that age, he didn't have any patience to be a father. He was good enough to be a grandpa, and he kept on making
Oh,
kids.
okay.
So I think he already had two kids, and I think he was maybe 54, 5 years old when he married my mother, who was very, very young. And then he had kids all the way until when he was 65, one after the other one, another six kids, you know. So it was a terrible household, and it was awful. It was, I, right now is the Iranian New Year, Nowruz is called, and everyone is
Mhm.
celebrated. I've never been able to celebrate it because it reminds me of my upbringing. It reminds me of how sad I used to be. And
Okay.
so I don't want to, for me, it has not that I don't want to face it, but it has lost its value for me. So I don't
Mhm.
want to fake it and celebrate it just for the heck of it.
Mhm.
It's not my holiday. I'm much more looking forward to Christmas than I do for the Persian New Year. So yeah, I wanted to save my sanity. So really, in pursuit of my happiness and my freedom from my household, I wanted to run away, which I did.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. For one, you wanted to get away and then come into a different country, your nationality, your language barriers. Tell me more about that. How did
Oh
you
my God, not
find that?
speaking one word of English. Ugh, hallelujah. You can only do that when you're so gutsy and when you're very young. I mean, I was 21 and sky was my limit.
Mhm.
Who would possibly stop me? I don't know the language. Well, so what? But today, if you tell me, today is actually my birthday, I'm 67 years old. If you tell me today, come on, let's move to Japan and you're going to have the most luxurious life, but you have to learn Japanese, I said, are you out of your mind? No way. When you're young, sky
Mhm.
is your limit, you know?
Mhm.
So I went to England. I didn't speak a word of English. It was so challenging. I wanted to buy a pair of boots. I never forget that. I was going to say, how much is it? I said, how many is it? And then the guy said, my sister was with me who spoke a little bit more than me. And the guy said, well, how many do you want? So I looked at my sister, what is he saying? Because, well, he's asking you how many you want because you said how many. And it was embarrassing. I was an au pair the lady was from Scotland.
Okay.
The husband was from Bangladesh,
Ooh.
and they had a Down syndrome boy a year and a
Mhm.
half, and she was pregnant with the second one. She asked me to go get the iron, and I went to the refrigerator and I brought her something from the iron. And she looked at me. She goes, "What is this?" I said, "I don't understand." But she was very nice to
Mhm.
my not understanding. She wasn't one of those that her husband, though, who was learning the English, like had to learn the English just
Mhm.
like I did, he was harder on me, much harder on me if I didn't
Mhm.
understand, and making a monkey out of me for not
Oh,
understanding it. But it was very difficult. It was super hard. But as I said, when I look back at those days that I was learning the language, being the au pair in an English family, I never felt that it was difficult. It was
oh, bless.
just something that I wanted to do, you know.
Yeah.
And I do have a ton of remorse why I left England. And
Mhm.
I pray goodness that even if it's 4 or 5 months a year, I can come and live in England and go, I miss my Brits. I miss the streets, the rain, the smell of people. I just miss that there's culture in England, and I miss that. So
That's
please invite
absolutely
me
fine.
back to your country.
Yes. Oh, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. And I have a British passport, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
How did that come around then?
well, because those days you had to get a lot of you had to get they changed the laws 90
Mhm.
times. At that time, I had no way, being Iranian. Oh my God, anywhere in the world, we were the peasants because of the revolution in Iran. I mean, a dog had more respect to be anywhere than an Iranian face or Iranian passport.
Gosh.
So they were making it very hard on me, and they were going to kick me out of England. So I got married to a guy from Pakistan who was born and raised in England so I can get my passport, my visa. So I did.
Mhm.
And that's how I got my British passport.
Mhm.
Not a very good way, but that was the only way I had to do it.
Oh, bless
And
you.
and he knew that we weren't living together. He was a marriage of convenience. I paid him and I got married and I got my passport.
Mm.
And that was 40 years ago.
Wow. You most certainly have had an interesting life, and we've only just begun.
Every time I go to a podcast, people say, you need to come back to
Oh,
continue. And I said,
oh.
sure.
So tell me more about. I know you've managed to change your hatred for your father into love, and that you've healed your relationship even with your husband too. So tell me more
Oh,
about that.
when you live in the center of a fire and anger and frustration,
Mm,
when you look around, all you see is more fire and anger and frustration. At the peak of my frustration and anger, which it just got accumulated throughout the years for not being accepted, for not being loved by the society, because we were the Iranians and what they started in Iran. It was just like I had to beg people, hey, don't blame me. I'm not the government. I don't have
mm,
nothing to do with it. But it didn't work, So it increased so much anger and animosity in my head, but not in my heart, not in my soul. And deep down in my heart and soul, I had always, I think from the time I was born, I was a spiritual kid. I
mhm,
always wanted to believe this higher power that embraces me and embraces every object, every moving thing that there is in the world, regardless of their sex, their preferences of whatever. And I just was always a seeker.
mm,
Why part of me is boiling in anger and frustration, and my other part says the best is yet to come, wait. Part of me wants to fight, part of me says no, be angry, be mad, be frustrated, keep on hating everybody. The other side of me say no, wait, the best is yet to come. So when you have these two sides within you, that this battle goes on, it depends what side gets more food and love and attention from you. I think I was more drawn into being a God lover
mhm,
than being a religion lover. And in my head and heart, my love making with God kept on throughout many, many years, bringing many different mentors on my way. That what I am feeling is different than what I am actually believing,
mhm, mhm.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a vast subject to talk about, but that finally got me to be more into wanting to find out, like, who is Ram Dass, who is Mother Teresa, who is Wayne Dyer, who is Gary Zukov, all of that stuff. They came on my way, they came as my mentors. I began to search.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
the more I searched, the more I realized that it's like I have two eyes, but I'm only looking with half of one eye, not
mhm,
even with two of them. And with
mhm,
that half of one eye, I'm feeding it so much with just keep on being angry and mad. And it was time for me to actually open my both eyes and feed both of them. And then I realized, like, for years being so mad and angry at my father,
mhm,
how has that served me but nothing? Because it affected in my relationship with the husband that I was married to in England, and I got
mhm,
divorced from him with zillions of boyfriends. They came on my way. I did the same thing with the current man that I am so blessed to be married to, my Greg. Boy, how badly I treated him at first when I met him. It was one of these discoveries that I had. It was actually, I started reading this book, is called by Byron Katie, and it says,
Mhm.
Loving What Is. And then I did a couple of it was in the pandemic time. And then I started doing a couple of workshops that it was online and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, one thing I'm realizing again, I'm focusing on negativity of my father. Why did my father beat me up? Why did my father did that, married my young mother? Why? But I'm not realizing how much good my father had as well. And if you put that in one category, you just realize, oh, there is so much more to be grateful than being so mad and angry, which it got me to start weighing it. It's like you putting in a scale, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
weighing it and see, my father was a massive athlete of his own time. I lost my father 25 years ago. He was 105 when he died. He was a very old man when he died,
Wow.
105. So
Yeah.
when he was an athlete of his time, there was no gym and weightlifting. They used to pick up rocks and the trunk of a tree. And in his age, when we have a few pictures of him those days, he is so solid muscle on top of the mountains. And he went to the Everest mountain on top of it. I don't remember, twice, four times, something like this, when there were no cell phone, there were no connection of anything. And he did it. And I thought, well, I have his genes, and it has brought me so much health and wealth. How much money I made throughout all these 30 years, six figure making it. It was my father's genes in me that made me become such a strong fitness guru slash teacher. And then from all of that I learned, it got me to become a coach, you know, alongside with it. My father was very much of a people person. And I see that serving people serves my soul. I got that from my father. My father loved helping people.
Wow.
And all of those were amazing gifts. He was such a hardworking man, and so am I. I finished work last night. I started yesterday at 7 a.m. Not that it's a good thing, but you do what you need to do, right? I started 7 a.m. I took 2 hours break in the middle of the day and ran to play pickleball, ran to the gym, come back here, and I was online again from 5:30 until 9:30 last night. So I am like him. Work does not scare me. Serving people serves my soul. If people need me, I am there. I'm not saying I don't work with you because it's 6 o'clock in the evening. I don't say no, I won't see you because it's 8 o'clock. Right here today.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. The very first person. What a joy to start it with your beautiful spirit. I am blessed to be here with you. So today people say, are you taking off? I said, taking off from what? Do you take off from breathing? So I work for until about lunchtime, and then I have half a day, you know. Every day is my birthday.
Happy, happy birthday.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. So yeah, these are the shift of a change from hatred to love and respect for my father.
Brilliant. I mean, and it takes a lot of courage as well.
Yes, it does. I
Yeah.
must bravely say, yes, it does.
Mm.
But life is all about a choice,
Mm. Mm.
you know.
Absolutely.
When we talk about you have to take care of yourself and you have to have self
Mm.
care and self love, one of the ways for me to have self compassion for myself was to realize that and forgive myself first for carrying
Mm.
this burden of anger and frustration for years on my shoulder, which was the hatred for the father. That's my self passion, self compassion, self love, self forgiveness. If I choose in life where do I want to be, then I'm going to start with forgiving me and start loving myself.
Mm.
Loving myself is not by continuing being the angry woman that I've always been because of. Life is all about the choices we make.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So, how do you differentiate between being of service than being a pleaser?
Oh, I used to be the biggest pleaser in the world.
Mm.
Oh my God, was I a pleaser? Huge difference. It didn't matter how much physically, emotionally I was in pain and agony. And if somebody says, carry this for me, and I want to say no, but I say, okay, fine. And inside I'm banging myself on the head, like, why do you say yes? Why don't you say no? Because I wanted to be remembered. I wanted to be part of that gathering. I wanted to be seen. I was desperate to be loved. And when you don't love yourself, you want somebody else to love you. So you bend backwards and forwards in each and every direction for somebody else to love you. But once you realize the power is in your hand, and you have to start loving yourself. And the first sign of loving yourself is that when they ask you something and it's not suiting you, you're very comfortably looking at their eyes and say, no, thank you.
Absolutely.
That is being a pleaser. That is serving myself. Serving people serves my soul for as long as I put me first. And I say, what they're asking me to do. Think of this. A very wealthy woman. When I coach people, I always give them about like first 30 minutes to see if we like each other or not. And then after that is, okay, that's an introduction call. And then you give them another hour, hour and a half complimentary. And then after that, if I am not clear, maybe I give him another half an hour, max 2 hours. After that, I will speak to you when the money is in the account. That is serving people. That serves my soul. Now, the very same very wealthy woman calls me and then it goes, no, I think I want to have a few more sessions with you before I can decide if I pay you. I said, I am sorry, I am not available. I gave you what was in my container as my introductory call to you. After that, even if you want to know whether you like to work with me or not, you pay my hourly rate and then you decide if you want to hire me. And the hourly rate only is for 2 single hours too. So it's a massive difference. When I serve people, I am in heaven. When I come from a pleaser aspect of it, I am bashing myself. Why did I say that? Why didn't I do that? Why? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love everything you're saying because you have to put yourself first. And it is about self care. Absolutely. You
Yeah,
can't
think
serve
about it. If you don't
others.
put yourself
Yeah.
first, you're
Yeah.
teaching people not to put you first. We are
Absolutely.
teaching people how to treat us
Yes.
by how we treat ourselves by just going, okay, fine, you want whatever you want. Just say hi to me while I'm suffering and I'm serving you. What?
Yeah. I can definitely see how you discover the gift of compassion over and resilience. Definitely. It,
Yeah.
you know, I can hear it in your voice.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you, Mala. And it's nothing that you're born with. It's something that you
Mhm.
have to dig into it.
Mhm.
No one, no parent can give you that. No parent can
Mhm.
gift you that. It's this diamond that you have to find. That's what I call it. Your past traumas,
Mhm.
your past agonies and challenges are not a life sentence. There is a diamond into it. These are all life's gifts.
Yes.
These
Yeah.
are all life's awards and rewards. Go find your gift in it.
Definitely. Definitely.
Mm.
So tell me more about your coaching practice. What kind of clients do you work with?
Relationships are terrible. Just like I said, if I
Mm-hmm.
don't have relationship, which I didn't have relationship with myself,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be kind to myself. I couldn't be kind and loving to my husband. My husband is the most magnificent man you can find on a planet Earth. He
Bless.
really
Yeah.
is a delightful soul. But did I see that in him at first? No, because I wasn't seeing it in myself.
Mm.
So I'm being called a transformational relationship coach because I am learning, as I am learning from myself, is a transformation that you create. How you become related to yourself. This is the same way that you will be related to your spouse, to your children, to your coworker, to your boss, and if you are the boss, to people that they work for you, to your sister and brothers. So
Mm-hmm.
relationship coach necessarily doesn't come, and then dealing with couples is just like no problem. That's just a
Yeah.
small part of it. So transformational relationship coach is a guide people
Mm-hmm.
how to find themselves in the core of themselves and their challenges that they have been going through in order they start giving birth to this new relationship with themselves and their spouses. So really dealing with spouses is just like not a problem.
Wow.
I never tell anybody to get divorced. It's none of my job, none of my business. I am
Mm-hmm.
here to guide and construct. I'm not here to distract.
Mm. I love that. I love that.
Thank
I just
you.
love you.
And I love you too.
Mm.
I can't
So
wait to come to England and come and find you and just hug you and say, come on, my bones are breaking.
yeah. So tell me more about the chapter you wrote in the book, Unstoppable, Replace
Uh-huh.
the Old Burden with the New Version of You, Fari. Tell me
That's
more. I have
yeah.
actually, I got it on Kindle, so I've got
Oh,
that. Yeah,
lovely. Oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so glad. Yeah. When we, at first, when we have a dream, like when I had a dream that
Mm,
I was, I think 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, that I said, I want to leave Iran. I have to
mm,
make my way out. I have to find a way. And then when I was 17 years old, 16 or 17 years old, I don't remember which one is up. My father started beating me up so hard. He said something, he just come home from work. He didn't like it, what I said to him. And I stood in front of him and said, okay, now what? And he was a powerful man. You don't mess with him. You
wow.
don't, people were afraid of my father. When he would walk in, you just think a king is walking in. Everybody would notice him.
Gosh.
So he really smacked me, slapped me on my face really many, many, many times, not 5 times, not 10 times. Like he
Mm,
kept on going and he goes, I'm going to hit you until your head falls off. And then finally, when my nose started bleeding, I started screaming. My mom came and my mother was about to kill my father. That's when I said, I'm going to leave Iran. I have to leave Iran. I'm not going to
mm,
stay here. To do that, it obviously took a lot of pressure and agony to make it happen. But I thought if I leave Iran and I go to England and then America, oh my God, life is glorious. There's no problem, none whatsoever. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. And when I left, basically, now I am not that girl at home that the food is made and put on the table,
mhm,
your clothes are washed. Now, you are everything that there is for you to do, buy your food, cook your food, earn your food, and life was
yeah.
much, much, much harder than just an immigrant because of the situation that went in Iran.
Mhm,
So since it was so much of a turbulences in life, like it was, I mean, can you imagine? I've lived in 3 different continents
yeah.
by my choice, by my running away from the reality of what it was, you know.
Mhm,
And I was dragging the agony of Iran to England, then the agony of what happened in Iran and England with me to America. And now I have
mhm,
all these. Let's talk about racism in America. It's just, you think America, everyone is coming from a different part and it's going to be brilliant. Oh my gosh, so far from it. No,
wow.
I mean, I really, to this day, I must say, I taste the racism, the prejudice in this country, the way that if I pronounce a
Mm,
word in a different way, how long they're gonna laugh, or they I had these people over and I said, I said, come over. I want to make this dish for you guys. And he said, what is it? And he was being derogatory. And he says, what is it? Is it made out of gold?
mm,
Whatever that means, but that was derogatory, what he was
mhm,
saying. So
mm,
it will always be here. I can't fix that.
mhm,
But
mhm,
how I had to learn to let go of this burden of being put down for that
mhm,
many years, I couldn't carry it anymore. It was too heavy. It was too painful.
mhm,
The result of the pain of it is that today, I mean, I was 27 or 8 years old in England. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia,
mm. Gosh.
you know. And as even though I'm so much into fitness, I'm so much into eating well and all of that, but still that
Mhm,
tension and anger stays with your muscles and all of that.
mhm, mhm,
Meditation, yoga, whatever you name it, I do. The burden was much too heavy for me to carry it any longer. And the only way I could deal with it was learning how to let go and be who I
mm,
want to be in this moment. And that to learn through a lot of process. That's what got me to become the coach that I am today. Because when I coach people, I am not talking out of, I read that in the book and it says to do that. I had to live it. I had to
Yeah,
walk it.
absolutely.
When you
Mm,
feel, that's why I always say, like, when you look at my wall, there is lots of certifications on the wall,
mm,
from Tony Robbins, Rich Litvin, Steve Chandler's, Byron Katie, all of them. No certification is as valuable. And I call this only certification.
mhm,
What
mhm.
I've got is a PhD that no one can take that away from me. And that's PhD from
Absolutely.
the agonies of life.
Mm,
And that's why it gets me today to be the coach that I am, because I've
mhm.
walked it. You
Absolutely.
know, I wanted the freedom that I have created for myself today. I
Mhm,
thought the world is going to give me the freedom after I stepped out of Iran, but I didn't realize it was just a messier jail,
mhm,
and I wanted to free me from out of it. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Yes. I wish I had the help that I am today for others as their coaches, so it would be less
mhm.
painful. But oh well, this is also part of my gift in life. That's
Yeah.
why I wrote that book. And it's a very small chapter in the book
Mhm.
that I wrote, which has now encouraged me to want to write my own book fully. So
Wow,
I'll
looking
let you
forward
know
to
when it
that.
comes out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what is one of the most important lessons you have learned so far in your life?
I used to judge everyone
Mhm,
a ton. And I used to be so angry at the same time. Oh
mhm,
my God, did I judge people and made the
mhm,
monkey out of everybody. And I wanted, again, it was coming from my pleaser aspect of it. Ever since I learned to forgive myself for all being a pleaser, being a judgmental person, ever since I stopped doing that,
mhm,
and I forgive myself for doing it, and I forgave myself, and I
mhm.
forgive myself on hourly basis every single time. I don't say I forgave it and it's all over. No, it's something that you have to, like, every day you need to shower and you need to eat
Yeah.
food and you have to poop, right? Every day and every minute, when I think about it, you don't know
Mhm.
how many times a day I want to open my mouth and gossip and say and judge somebody, and I catch myself. And I realized when I heard this, that Byron Katie says forgiveness is the opposite to judgment.
Wow.
So once I learned that, oh, so if I've forgiven myself, then I can't judge anyone.
Mhm.
That was the biggest lesson. That to this minute, the minute I want to say, oh my gosh, look at what this one and that one said, then I haven't
Mhm.
forgiven myself. Then I stop.
Mm.
That was the
Powerful.
biggest lesson, that forgiveness is opposite of judgment.
Very powerful.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, my darling, for asking me
Yeah.
that.
So tell me more about your passion about pickleball.
Oh gosh, it is amazing. I used to play tennis a lot
Yes.
in London. I learned tennis in London, tennis
Mm.
and squash. And my goodness, I was like so fast. And we played almost every day, tennis and
Wow.
squash. So when I came to America with my knees were hurting me so much, and I ended up
Okay.
having knee surgery, I got into martial art, and I ended up having 7 knee surgeries before my last 2 knee replacements. So total of 9 surgery. I had to give up tennis for years until two
Mhm.
years ago when I had the surgery. And then they said here, when we moved here, they said there's something close to it, but it's like
Mm.
that. Go on it and see. It is fast. It's dangerous like hell. It's the number one um, injury causing sport.
Mm.
But I play 4 or 5 times a week. I love it.
Wow.
I had a tournament a few weeks ago. It was
Mhm.
between the Canadian and American, because lots of Canadian come, the snowbirds, they come here. I played in it. I came third, and it's only
Wo-
been a year since I started playing, so it's marvelous. Yeah, fitness is my thing.
Yeah,
It's my drug of the choice.
absolutely. And something kind of tells me you have no danger level.
No, girl, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because
Oh.
I started it very early in life,
Mm.
and it was like, well, okay, I just got injured, and then now what? You know, deal with it, and then you pursue it.
Move
But
on.
I've never let it stop me from moving on.
Excellent. Excellent. So, what resources do you recommend, tools, daily tips to anyone that wants to start looking to navigate escaping an emotional abusive family? I know it's a big question, but is there any tips you could give anybody?
You know, I always say, first of all, always call me. That's one of it.
Mhm.
But really, it's like start writing down the agony.
Mhm.
Start writing down, even if you got raped, if you got like me beaten up like hell, whatever it is that the
Mhm.
problem is, start writing it down from your eyes and your memories that you know and you remember. And the very same thing that you write it down, now write it in an opposite way. So I
Mhm.
write, Fari, I got beaten up like this and I feel like this and that. Now I'm just saying it, I'm turning it. Fari, I did not get beaten up and I didn't feel like that. By turning it that way and doing it many, many times, and that's one of the things that I say. And the other thing is that when you get up and do have some workout routine, but as simple as go,
Mhm.
you guys in England, you're blessed with the best parks and blessed with the rain. Go walk in the rain.
Mhm.
Go walk in the rain. That water, rain on you, walking heavily, reverse it, turn it around, whatever that troubles you, walk out loud, scream, and say it. I was not raped. I am not raped. I am above that. I am not beaten up. I was not stolen. I was not
Mhm.
hanging down. I was not in jail. I am not in jail. So, because everything that we say, it happened to us in the past. One
Mhm.
thing it's very important to know, people are depressed today for
Yes,
what has happened to them in the past.
absolutely.
Depression is the story of the past.
Mhm.
If you want to continue to live in the past, as the Dr. Joe Dispenza says, for how long more?
Yeah.
How much has it served you? So think about depression is the story
Mhm.
of the past. That's why you're still depressed, because you're living in the past.
Mhm.
Now, gratitude connects you to the present moment. When you stay in this thing, and oh my God, look what happened to me. The other one of the things
Mhm.
that you can do because of what happened to you in the past, and you suffer from it, and you say, oh, it's easier said than that. No, it's not easier said than that. I've lived it. I've been through
Mhm.
zillions. If I tell you, you cry for 5 days for me, you know,
Yes.
really. But
Mhm.
I think of right now, if you, the person that is suffering, get up and go and walk outside and say, I am here now, healthy, safe, secure. Bring yourself to the
Mhm.
present moment. Gratitude for this moment. When it takes you back to what happened to you, bring yourself to this moment. I am safe and secure now.
Mhm.
Nothing around me is dangerous. I am away from the situation. The rain is pouring on me. The sun is shining on me. I am healthy and happy. Whether it's in the pool, is in the street, you're in the gym, wherever you are, have a
Mhm.
healthy habit. Create a healthy. We are creator of our own environment. Anita,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you want to be miserable? Be my guest.
Yeah.
Continue. You
Yeah.
want to get out of it? Be your own best friend. And that's the way
Mm.
to do it. Be grateful for this moment. Your depression is you're suffering from it because you're stuck in the past.
Mm.
Gratitude brings you to the moment.
Absolutely.
And that's the
Absolutely.
best way to be grateful for this moment. Get up and go and walk. And the more these thoughts come to you,
Mm.
replace them with I am safe and secure and healthy now.
Absolutely.
Even if you've lost a limb because of what has happened to you, you
Mm.
have the other one and you have whatever you have left. Be grateful for that and repeat that.
Mhm. That's absolutely fantastic. I love the way you put things. Absolutely
Oh,
love it.
thank you, babe. Thank you, my love. Is life lessons. It's all coming from
Absolutely.
living it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't make it up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, where can the listeners find you online, your book? What's your website, Fari?
My website is www. And it's one word, Fari Transformation. You're welcome to put it down on the comments,
Mhm.
Anita, if you would be kind enough to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Fari Transformation, no space, all
Mhm.
faritransformation.com. And they're welcome to email me, Fari at Fari Transformation. So my name is Fari, Fari at faritransformation.com.
Yep.
And they can write it and email me. And I have no problem if you want to put my phone number. I'm a big girl. I got a strong husband who can always defend me. So,
That's good to hear.
so
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll put your website in the show notes. So
please, yes.
absolutely. So thank you for sharing your courageous journey and deep, insightful wisdom and knowledge with us today. And by doing so, I know you have helped so many others. Fari Gonzaque.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this opportunity. Blessings to you.
It's absolutely my pleasure. And we are all about create the courage to be fearless. So what is your definition of courage?
Mine definition of courage is that rejection is redirection.
Wow.
So remember, when you get rejected, oh, redirection. Don't go down, up, always up.